So as I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be a little bit more serious. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was in New York. I went to the premiere of a movie called A Monster Calls, and it's about this little boy whose mom has cancer and he's being bullied at school, and it's basically all about his kind of struggle and journey and coping mechanisms of how he got through a rough time and a loss. So it made me start to think, how do I get through a rough time? How do I get through a loss? So I wanted to make a video today about when I decided to pick up everything I could possibly carry and move across the country a week after I turned 18. If you didn't know, I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, born and raised there my whole life, but I always knew I wanted to be in California. Even when I was little, I told my mom, I think in like 3rd grade, I was like, Fort Wayne's cool, but I'm gonna be in California one day. So my 18th birthday was getting closer and closer and closer, and then it was there. And I packed as many of my stuffed animals that would fit in my car trunk, and I was off. And at the time, I was so fearless and confident and determined, but when I got to LA, it was pretty terrifying. I pretty much lost everything I knew. All my friends, well, my friend, the only friend I had, I lost the ability to run to my mom and dad anytime something wasn't going well or anytime I needed anything. I was in a whole new city. I knew like 2 people when I moved here. I didn't know what I was doing. You never really realize how much you appreciate the things around you until they're literally gone. Whether it be a person, an object, a town, a sense of comfortability, being comfortable. It's a hard word, but I lost all of that. I pretty much picked myself up and just was like, okay, good luck, self. I remember I had been in LA for exactly 2 weeks, and it was a lot. It was a lot to handle. It was just so polar opposite of everything that I came from in Fort Wayne, Indiana, with cornfields and Amish people, okay? So it was 2 weeks of living in LA. I was so incredibly homesick. Time zones were really starting to wear because it would be 9 p.m. for me, but midnight for my parents. So at 9 p.m. if I needed something, I couldn't even call them. So I completely lost my shit and broke down and did like a full-on sob cry, like a scream cry, where you kind of black out a little bit. It's not funny. I remember locking myself in my closet so that my roommate at the time couldn't hear me crying, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my god, even talking about this makes me really sad. It was the first time I accepted the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. And that's okay, it's not a bad thing. But prior to that, I think I felt like if I told myself I knew what I was doing, then I would hopefully figure it out ASAP. But that was the first time I really just accepted the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was. I needed my mom and dad. Oh, I love them. So I called my mom and dad at like 3 in the morning their time, and I was bawling. I don't even think she could understand a word I said for 5 solid minutes. But the next day I booked a ticket home and was back with the cornfield. So I think for me, how I coped with kind of losing everything I knew was accepting the fact that, yeah, I'm clueless and I don't know what I'm doing, and that's okay, because nobody does. Nobody knows what they're doing, or I'm just gonna tell myself that. So that was probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. It was scary, but it literally made me who I am. So now I want to hear about something that has happened and how you coped with it and made the best of it, because sometimes that's all you can do. Leave a comment down below of how you handle loss, whether it be a person, an item, a place, a home, anything. Let's all give each other virtual hugs in the comment section as well, because I feel it coming. You want to give me one? I wouldn't mind. Never gonna say no to a virtual hug, just saying. And like I said before, the movie A Monster Calls kind of sparked this train of thought. If you guys want to see the movie, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry like a little baby. I was bawling. It comes out January 6th. It had me crying so hard. I'll see you guys next time. I'm sorry if I was the Debbie Downer of your day, but sometimes you gotta get real. I love you guys.